BARK Radio.
What's good, everybody? It's Robo from Allbark back with another video, and today I am finally back with some preseason college football content, bringing you my annual top 100 players in college football list. As usual, this top 100 will be broken into 4 parts of 25 players each, and then I'll drop a preseason top 25 before the season, before we get into another year of weekly picks. This is part 2, so number 75 through 51. So with all that said, let's go ahead and get right into the list. Clemson wide receiver TJ Moore continues my top 100 at number 75. I'm pretty high on his value as an NFL prospect too. He had a huge freshman breakout with over 600 yards and 5 touchdowns in 2024, and then a better sophomore season with over 804 touchdowns while playing with a really talented receiver core. But now as the clear leader of the room, even with a new unproven quarterback, I'm expecting one of the better seasons in the ACC from Moore.
Moore is open and caught. Zach stayed on his feet miraculously. Room service downfield.
Austin Sierravelt played tackle for the Buckeyes last year and did a really good job, which allowed him to be considered entering the 2026 NFL Draft. But he chose to return to Ohio State and likely move to guard, where he projects to be a better fit in the future. And with who's on the Ohio State line with him, Austin could help turn this unit into a Joe Moore award-winning group. He was great in pass pro last year, but really stands out as a run blocker, where he had an 83 grade by PFF, number 1 amongst the returners. Oregon center Yapani Lalulu made my list in 2025 and returns in 2026, obviously still on the list. After not allowing a single sack in 2024, he was the second highest graded center in the country last year. His flexibility and athleticism really stand out on tape, and I definitely see him as an early round draft pick in the NFL next year. He's been playing great football since his freshman season for the Ducks and should again contend for the Remington Trophy.
First down run.
Right back to Hill. Hot hand up the middle.
Quincy Rhodes Jr. had an opportunity to enter last year's NFL Draft, but chose to return to Arkansas to try and build on his breakout season last year with 8 sacks and 15.5 tackles for loss, and maybe contend for a first-round selection if he's able to do so. With a brand new coaching staff and team around him, I definitely can see Rhodes stepping up to that challenge and delivering a first-team All-Conference type of year for the Hogs defense.
It's not going to happen here. 55 yards of penalty since the 2-point play, and look at this tackle for loss by Quincy Rhodes.
Amari Thomas is one of the most slept-on receivers in the country this season. Some know how great he is, but to the casual, they may have never heard of him, as before his breakout year at Houston, he was just a fast contributor at UAB. But as I just said, last year he had 12 touchdown catches and almost 1,000 yards with Connor Wegman, nearly half of it as yards after catch. Just a freak yak weapon for that offense, and should be in for a huge senior season.
Wegman chops his feet, fires middle. Thomas in space to the numbers, needs a block.
Suntarine Perkins broke out for the Ole Miss defense 2 years ago, totaling 14 tackles for loss and 10.5 sacks, showcasing elite athleticism at linebacker with incredible closing speed. His junior season did not match up with the sack total, but he still had 12.5 TFLs and 4.5 sacks, playing much more of a traditional linebacker role. He's versatile enough to play edge and backer, but I wouldn't be shocked to see him among the country's sack leaders again this season, assuming he lines up at edge more.
Half. 1-point game. Ole Miss up 7-6. Milroe is going down.
Xavier Brown's been an impact corner at Alabama since his true freshman season in 2024. He's got 5 picks in the last 2 seasons, 2 of them pick sixes, and most coming at extremely pivotal moments of the season or in the biggest games. And I think I've been impressed enough with Brown's coverage ability to this point to consider him one of the best corners in America for this season, finishing last season as one of the leaders in least yards allowed per coverage snap.
Back. Launches for the end zone. Jump ball. Intercepted.
Indiana right guard Drew Evans was one of the best linemen in the country last season, giving up just 9 pressures and 0 sacks across 16 games, and standing out as a great run blocker. I love the way he finishes his blocks, constantly piling up pancakes and finishing linebackers through the second level. Now entering a senior season for the Hoosiers, I expect him to be one of the best players in this line, which should allow Indiana to compete for another title. Sammy Brown has only spent 2 years at Clemson so far, but it has been such a strong 2 seasons. 10 sacks and 25 TFLs across 27 games, and he picked up an interception last season, as well as over 100 tackles on the year. He's just an animal who is always finding the ball carrier. He's a dominant run stopper who's looked fairly decent in coverage as well, but definitely specializes as an attacker and tackler.
Blitz, and it works.
Next step forward. Dave Dorn is getting over the 9-win.
Caleb Hawkins making the jump to Power 5 this season as he'll transfer into Oklahoma State along with Drew Mestemaker and his head coach Eric Morris. And I'm expecting big things as he was one of the best running backs in the country last season as a true freshman. His tape is pretty ridiculous, but the numbers are absurd. 1,400 yards and 25 rushing touchdowns, and then an additional 400 receiving yards and 4 receiving touchdowns. Again, all as a true freshman.
Days got him here on campus, and now he's turned into a star just like this guy, Hawkins.
Evan Stewart may have been forgotten about by a lot of people after missing all of 2025 with an injury and not having particularly incredible seasons statistically so far, but he was an elite talent coming into college, had a great freshman year at A&M, and then had a very good year at Oregon in 2024 in a loaded room. And now fully healthy, I expect him to lead this Oregon receiving room, which is once again loaded with talent, and get back on the radar as a premier wide receiver 1 in college football.
On first down, down the sideline, Stewart. Yes.
7, Gabriel has time to set up and fire over the middle towards the end zone. There's the catch.
Jordan Marshall was one of Michigan's bigger breakout stars last season, stepping in for Justice Haynes after a season-ending injury, and he did not disappoint at all. Over 1,000 total yards and 10 touchdowns with over 6 yards per carry. He did play 11 games, but was the starter for just 5 of them, and now he's one of the 10 best returning running backs in the country, and should be in another incredible backfield duo, this time with true freshman 5-star Savion Hyder.
On first down, they hand it off. Marshall still ready. Hand it off. Marshall bleeding his way towards the 5, and he's
Iowa cornerback Zach Lutmer is one of the best returning corners in the country and one of the most productive too. In 2025, Lutmer had 3 picks, 1 pick six, 7 PBUs, 5.5 tackles for loss, and a sack. And what really stood out to me was his nose for the ball. He had 71 total tackles, which is a lot for a corner, but a ton of them coming away from his coverage, reading the quarterback, and making plays he's not always expected to make. He should be an all Big Ten first-team contender this season.
gives it a go. It's picked.
Sam Levitt is someone I'm a bit lower on than the masses, but still fully believe in the talent he has to be one of the best quarterbacks in the country this season. His 2025 at Arizona State was rough, dealing with an injury and having a couple plays he'd love to take back, but it still is not a bad season by any means, and now transferring over to LSU to play for Lane Kiffin, I think he's in a much better position to succeed, so we'll see if Levitt can get back to his 2024 dominance.
Looking long, he's got a wide open Tyson. Jordan Tyson.
Levitt to pass on 4th and 1. Wide open and complete.
Georgia's Ellis Robinson has some incredible potential as a future NFL corner, in my opinion, and already showcased that in his redshirt freshman season last year. The former 5-star grabbed 4 picks and was a top 10 in Power 4 completion rate allowed. With his talent, athleticism, and clear coverage skills and ball skills, there's no reason to doubt he can skyrocket up this list by year's end and be a first-round pick in 2027.
Manning a long throw. What a ball.
Lagway to stay alive. Incomplete.
Stephen Daly made headlines in early August announcing his return for the 2026 season after the court allowed the class of 2022 another year of eligibility, turning an already elite Indiana defensive line into probably the second best in the country along with Kellen Wyatt. Daly wasn't a full-time starter last year, but his production was unbelievable. 19 tackles for loss, 5.5 sacks in the year, and he didn't even get to play in the playoffs to add to that total. People were pretty high on Gunnar Stockton last season at Georgia, but his first year as a starter went even better than expected in my opinion, throwing 24 touchdown passes, just 5 picks with nearly 3,000 yards, and then rushing for 460 more and 10 extra scores. He was 7th in Heisman voting and really gave Georgia a chance in the playoffs, but unfortunately came up just short in an incredible game against Ole Miss, so we'll see if we can go even further in 2026.
Stockton heading for the end zone. Touchdown.
I knew Terrence Carter was a stud coming out of Louisiana, but after transferring, his first year at Texas Tech was even better. 5 touchdowns and over 600 yards in an offense with a ton of weapons was huge, and he's now established himself as a top 3 tight end in the country entering this season. He's not the biggest tight end at just 6'2", but his speed and space and after the catch skills will again be huge for the Red Raider offense.
3rd down and 7. There's the pickup by Dickey. Beautifully done. Terrence Carter Jr.
This is a big year for Drew Mestemaker. He's now draft eligible as a redshirt sophomore and making a jump to the Big 12, going from North Texas to Oklahoma State. And he's got a lot of the same weapons around him to help him out. There may not have been a bigger prospect breakout in the country than Drew. He's got a rocket of an arm, a great frame at 6'4", and put up just unbelievable numbers last season. So we'll see what he looks like with a step up in competition this year.
Mestemaker surveys. End zone. Caught there.
Mestemaker going quick. Pressure in his face. What an arm! The cannon!
Minnesota edge Anthony Smith is someone I really love to watch, yet might not be a household name yet to the casual fan, but he should be after putting up a 12.5 sack, 17.5 tackle for loss in 2025 season, and opting to return for one more year at Minnesota. The fifth-year senior has all the pass rush tools you need to succeed at the next level, in my opinion, and I think we'll see another double-digit sack year out of him to potentially lead the Big Ten.
I can't get enough of those guys.
Nick Marsh transferred into Indiana this season, coming from Michigan State, and will now be a superstar tandem with Charlie Becker for Curt Cinetti's new-look offense. And in my opinion, this may be the #1 duo in the country. Marsh is such a talented receiver. He's got a great frame at 6'3", 213, yet is so gifted after the catch. Just a weapon with the football and has the ability to high point and make contested catches with the best of them.
Childs, pressure coming, lets it go, has a man, touchdown Michigan State! Extra pressure from Youngstown State, and that gets out to Nick Marsh. Swipes away one.
Princewill Umanmielen is the younger brother of Princely, who made my top 100 list in 2024 at Ole Miss, and Princewill will play for LSU this season after a huge year for the Ole Miss Rebels in 2025. Across 15 games, he had 9 sacks and 13 TFLs, as well as a pick. He's a super versatile player, lining up at both outside linebacker and on the defensive line, a great athlete, and should be the leader of this LSU pass rush this season.
Ole Miss bring the blitz, they will not. And our Sellers pursued from behind.
Kingston Viliamu Asa is someone I really struggled to not rank even higher than this. The Notre Dame linebacker played a lot as a true freshman, broke out as a sophomore with 3 sacks, 7.5 TFLs, and a pick, and 48 total tackles in just 11 games. And on tape, he just stands out so much as a freak playmaker. I expect a massive leap as one of the best, if not the best, linebacker in the country for 2026 on a loaded Irish defense.
A little hesitation.
On 3rd and 3, barely floating back, and then finally
BYU's LJ Martin might be the best power back in college football. Obviously, there are some massive household names at running back, but LJ definitely deserves to be in the conversation, especially for power backs. In 2025, he had 1,300 rushing yards, over 1,500 total, and scored 12 touchdowns. Just so much tackle breaking ability and a pretty good speed for his size. Moving how he does at 6'2", 225 is just ridiculous.
As you see LJ Martin break up. Bachmeier gives it. Martin's on the move. He is gone. Touchdown.
Bryce Pollock transferred to Texas Tech last year after 2 years at Mississippi State and absolutely skyrocketed up the corner ranks, grabbing 5 picks and 8 PBUs across 14 games for the Red Raiders. He now returns for his senior season as a top 5 corner in the country for me, and from what I've been hearing in camp, he might have taken another leap as a coverage corner, which would make him a potential first-round pick.
Dampier sets. Threw it into double coverage.
And there comes Bailey. He dodges him. Johnson keeps the eyes upfield. That's intercepted.
That's it for part 2 of my top 100 players in college football for 2026. Stay tuned to the channel for the rest of the list, and of course weekly picks when those start dropping when the season starts. As always, thanks for watching. Feel free to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
BARK Radio.